Good morning. It is the 21st of January 2020. For many of us, the most important thing that's going on right now is this chart pattern in Bitcoin dominance. Should this break below this green line, that is the measure that the altcoins are taking off. You may know that we have the bull market watch spreadsheet that shows you with color coding when a coin is near that breakout pattern, when it is past that breakout pattern. And so you can see simply on Bitcoin, when it was in an alert status, we had lots of time saying it was coming up to our buy signal. And after our buy signal manifested, we've got lots of time to know when to get out of the trade. No need to jump in and out and actually pay that much attention, really. You can see another example here with Dash, where we saw the alert coming up and turned it into a hold stance. It's been a phenomenal return for those people who followed the spreadsheet and put those trades on. And of course, if you don't have this information and you are not already into these altcoins, you've already missed out on some of the altcoin season that is taking off right now. So I do encourage you to head over to the website Introtocryptos.ca and sign up for the Bull Market Watch spreadsheet. Let's jump right into the relative strength index. We can see that the RSI on the weekly has pulled back just a slight little tick. And as you've been watching prior episodes, I've been watching for the weekly to bounce off of this and come back. However, if it goes up and through that, it's really important in the trend that the relative strength index in the weekly view can go a lot higher than where it is here. When we go into the daily time frame, we can see that the RSI is on a trend here, but it hasn't broken that trend, and it's got a lot more room. It could go a lot higher as well from where we are now. Even though it's pulled back, it hasn't broken that trend yet. So let's see what's going on. When we go into the 12-hour time frame and clear this off, we can see that we do have this trend I was watching the other day in this top formation. That's true, but it really hasn't broken this trend yet. And the 12-hour has a lot more room. It could go very much more overbought. So it could pull back from those ranges, but it still has juice. It still has room. And so now as the 4-hour has come back to the midline and stabilized, should strength in prices start to show up and this pick up off this relative strength index level, that's pretty bullish. And it's actually one of the targets we've been watching for ever since we had the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation breakout and our actual buy signal. You know, if you've been watching along for a while, my buy signal is right about here. Breakout of the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. I buy and I get out when the 4-hour EMA crosses over. Hasn't crossed over yet. And so my system lets me filter out all of this crap. I don't have to jump in and out and in and out. Now, one of the places from this top that was an estimate that it could pull back and jump up is right from this parallel channel. Another would be to start diving into our support and resistance and look for a 1, 2, 3 formation, dive into support and resistance, watch for a 1, 2, 3 formation. Any of these places with the RSI and our parallel channel all make sense. And if you grab your Fibonacci's, and they all fit in on that too. Okay, so here's my trading signal again. Go long, sit still, and do nothing. Let's start out on the weekly view and zoom in on this. We can see that we have some good buying volume, but not compared to what we had before. And in fact, we had a dump in volume go from positive to negative here as we broke down in July of 2018 and as we broke higher in February and March of 2019. There are different patterns in this volume right here. Now let's go to the 12-hour view. We're zooming in to see that this is increasing volume as we're going through in this 12-hour time frame. As I go to the 4-hour time frame, we see wave, a higher, stronger wave of volume, and then it's pulled back into a trickle right here. As we go into the 1-hour time frame, all across this, it's been selling, but a lot less and less selling all the way along. Let's zoom in a little bit more. We could be watching to see what's going on with this buying volume here, but it really doesn't look like it's getting big sets of buys that are holding it in its place right here. In fact, it looks kind of the opposite. Now on the weekly MACD, we can see this is crossed positive or so close to it that the histogram is like invisible. Should that cross positive or negative, this is really key to be paying attention to. That's amazing actually. Let's go into the daily time frame. And we can see this is almost crossing negative. It's made its way up, and if it maintains this positive stance and starts to flare back wide again, that's incredibly bullish. We'll be able to tell on these closer time frames, and right now the 12-hour has crossed negative, which the 4-hour time frame has crossed and crossed again, But it is looking like it's catching itself here, where if it crosses back positive and goes up, that could correct our 12-hour time frame. As the price is moving from here, this 1 hour MACD is going to give us some confirmation. When we go to the weekly Ichimoku Cloud, it's almost twisting negative right here. And I want to zoom in on the daily time frame. We've come up, we've crossed over earlier, it's up through the cloud, it's all still holding bullish, much like our 1, 2, 3 pattern. This gives you a lot of, it filters out a lot of the crap. You can just relax. Here, this crossed over, it's still positive, it's still not telling you to sell all the way through all this noise here. There's no reason to even do anything. We go into the 4-hour time frame. Now, this is crossed over and it's coming into the cloud. When the blue line crosses over the red, I want to pay attention to this. That's a top formation for me. And if we do make that 1, 2, 3, I'll be keen to be watching all of these indicators to map out how that plays out and compare it against what we've seen in the past to verify all of the trading signals now that we have really clearly identified from these 1, 2, 3 formations, from the interaction of the relative strength index, the MACD indicator, the Ichimoku Cloud, and don't forget the Bollinger Band. That's coming up. Let's go into the 1 hour time frame. We're under the cloud right now. Important stuff here. The 15-minute time frame, we're sideways but kind of under the cloud here and looking to cross negative. So let's finish up with the weekly Bollinger Bands. This is where we're looking to see if we're behaving like that. We're also looking to see if we're behaving exactly like this. Coincidentally, as we came up and tested this midline of the weekly Bollinger Band and pulled back, and as we came below and we were coming through that weekly midline, things really took off from here. Now let's go into the daily time frame. We've come up along the mean reversion and we're sitting sideways here. We're still above this 200 period exponential moving average, all bullish stuff. It really matches in with the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. Now we're on the midline, and should it maintain that, we'll see if it follows all the way along or goes sideways with the band and we get our Bollinger Bands coming into a very narrow place. That would be really good. Then we could see that something big is coming. But so far, this is looking like more sideways. This is looking like more sideways to weakness here on the 4-hour time frame. We are below that midline. But here on the 4-hour, we're still pretty wide in the bands, and the bands are all four sort of easing downward on a downward trend direction. When we get into the 1-hour time frame, it's gone sideways far enough that we've got a very narrow band, indicating we're probably going to get a very strong and big move out of it. The last time we had the narrow band, it crossed to the positive. We had a pretty strong move up. So we'll watch to see what the RSI is telling us. We'll watch that MACD crossing over. We'll watch the Bollinger Band break out of this narrow band. And as it continues up out of this parallel channel, it's just maintaining that our buy signal is still a hold status. And of course, for many of us, the most important thing that's going on right now is this chart pattern in Bitcoin dominance. If you haven't watched the other video about what Bitcoin dominance doesn't show you about altcoins, be sure to click on that link. It's got to be around this video here somewhere, and go and watch that so you understand what these green and red boxes are. But you already know what a top formation is. And you know when a 1, 2, 3 top formation, especially a nested 1, 2, 3 top formation, right? We've got this 1, 2, 3 top formation at the number 1 point. We have pretty much a variation of a 1, 2, 3 top formation here at the number 3 point, where we have support and resistance from the past. Now we have a larger 1, 2, 3 formation, and should this break below this green line, that is the measure that the altcoins are taking off. You may know that we have the Bull Market Watch spreadsheet that shows you with color coding when a coin is near that breakout pattern, when it is past that breakout pattern. And so you can see simply on Bitcoin, when it was in an alert status, we had lots of time saying it was coming up to our buy signal. And after our buy signal manifested, we've got lots of time to know when to get out of the trade. No need to jump in and out and actually pay that much attention, really. You can see another example here with Dash, where we saw the alert coming up and turned it into a hold stance. It's been a phenomenal return for those people who followed this spreadsheet and put those trades on. The reason this spreadsheet is able to catch those extra trades early is because we are doing individual analysis on all of these coins, not the average. Bitcoin dominance is the average of all of the coins, and so the good coins are held back in statistics by the mass of coins that are not going anywhere. Those coins that are already taking off are already telling us which ones they are. And if we pull out this the cover from this spreadsheet, we can see that in Binance, we have 12 markets that are in alert status right now. We have 20 markets like Dash that have already gone through alert and into hold stance. And those ones may be too late to get into. We may have to do a different strategy. But the ones that are hitting alert stance and all of these neutral coins that haven't yet, we've got about 30 coins that are right on the very edge. These are the ones that are taking off first. And of course, if you don't have this information and you are not already into these altcoins, you've already missed out on some of the altcoin season that is taking off right now. So I do encourage you to head over to the website Introtocryptos.ca and sign up for the Bull Market Watch spreadsheet. This is the last day to register for our lifetime membership and our course that is starting this week, next week, and the week after. I won't be running this course again until April, but you'll still always be able to join up to the Bull Market Watch and get access to this spreadsheet that we update for you every single day. You get access to special things in Discord. We give you updates. We give you videos on what's going on with these. If you are just starting out with cryptos, this is an essential part of your planning. This is an essential part of your learning. We put this together and we made it very inexpensive so that everybody, even if you are just learning about cryptos and not actually trading them, you can start your training ahead of time and get prepared before you put your money in so that you're not part of that statistic of the 70 to 80% of people who start out trading and end up losing money and quitting. 70 to 80% of people who start out trading end up losing money and they quit. The reason is they didn't have a plan. They didn't have that overall easy way to make this into a habit. So come over, grab it, join us. It'll be worth your while. And if you're serious about crypto and you really have been working at this for a long time and struggling with it, this course may be exactly for you because it's much more than just the bull market watch strategies. It's a whole level above it, not just a couple extra add-ons. It's an entire philosophy, and we don't just focus on cryptocurrencies. We use this same trading pattern, and we look at different market sectors. If you had been following us through gold and silver from September until now, you would have done very well with our trading as well. So anyway, I'll let you guys go. I've got tons going on here. Very exciting days, and I hope to have you along with it. That wraps it up for today's episode of the 24 Hours of Bitcoin. Good luck and stay safe.